guys, my name is Joel, and in this video I just want to start it off easy, start it off calm, just some driving. I want to show you guys some back roads because I love back roads, and in this video I'm going to try and make this car respond better, drive better, and just not be so clunky feeling, because right now I think the alignment is the biggest problem right now, because it just feels very like it doesn't snap back. Like, say if I'm turning right here, it kind of like it wants to keep going in the direction that I pointed, and I'm assuming it's because of the alignment, because I've never done the alignment on this car. And the suspension is super bouncy, so I have my head propped up against the seat to try and give you guys a better perspective of how bouncy it actually is, and hopefully you guys can hear it. I've actually never driven this car on back roads like really hard because of the stock brakes, so I don't even know what it feels like to turn into a corner hard and like accelerate hard out of it, because I refuse to do any kind of that driving on the public roads with stock brakes. I don't drive this car that much. Oh my God. I don't drive this car at all in the winter because it has no heat. Nothing happens because of the chassis harness. I'm gonna start off by jacking the car up and fixing the rear suspension, because after I took like this inch worth of perch out, I didn't adjust the shock at all. So this preload is really messed up on that. So I want to go in and adjust it and make sure everything is good before I start changing the shock, because it felt really good before I took that thing out. So here's why it's been riding so poorly. The spring is loose by a lot. So it's all on riding on this shock basically. There we go. Now that that's loose, I can jack this up until the spring has like about 5 millimeters of preload. Is about what they say is good. So just gonna keep going up a little bit, and right about there, I guess, just to show that's where it bolts up and that's where it was. So that's a big difference. So now I'm just gonna loosen this. Oh shit, I gotta bolt it back up and then loosen it. I haven't touched this in like 2 years, so yeah, I'm just gonna grab a hammer. Here we go. Oh God. Oh my God, this smells, everyone knows what PB smells, but I haven't used this in years because everything is new on this car. So now, damn, it's just turning the whole thing. So this adjusted thing is super stuck to the actual threads. All right, I'm gonna stop being a pussy and I'm gonna use some real reinforcements to get this loose. I'm gonna grab it at the top of the threads because hopefully I never have to use it all the way up here, in case if for some reason it does mess up. Ah. Bruh. Yo! Oh my God! What? I've never seen that before. I feel like Alex Steele in the forgery. Yo! That is as much pressure as I could put with my right leg. What the hell? So because that other side is being so OD, I'm gonna drench these in PB Blaster. Oh, of course, and this side is good. Cause this needs to go way up, because look at that, the spring is completely loose. That's so bad. Oh yes, let's go. Okay, so I want to eliminate all that play in the spring. So you see how it's jacking it up and it's still okay there. Then maybe like there we go, that's enough preload. So this is where it bolts up. This is how easy the other side should have been, but of course when we're working on cars, nothing ever is easy. So now the spring has a little bit of preload in it, and the suspension is actually going to be working properly. I probably over tightened that on the other side. Honestly, that probably is what happened. So now when I take the jack off, there, the jack is off, and the spring is actually not moving. There's a little bit of preload, and now hopefully with the suspension actually working, I'm going to be able to have more traction. So I lied. I only just soaked it for like, hasn't even been a few minutes after I stopped the other side. Oh, that's why it came off. What happened was this pinched itself against the body, so I could put an insane amount of torque holding this over here. When I was doing it earlier, it left a little mark on the coilover. Hopefully I can get to where I need to be before hitting that. I can just crank this all the way up to the top. Go up. Now I can match these two right here. Brush over the threads where it was stuck. And the suspension is now good. So when I take the jack off, nothing moves. Let's go. And the spring is in there solid. I'm hoping this thing drives a little bit nicer because it was horrible. So now I'm hoping it doesn't just sit on its ass and be way too low. Oh Lord, it's even lower. But I think that's gonna be good. Oh my God, that looks so good. It's a little bit dirty and ashy right here, but that's the height that I wanted to begin with. Oh yeah, that's so much better than before. I think preload on the front is good, which is kind of like the most important part, but I think these are really ignorantly stiff. Oh, they were all the way stiff. So I'm just gonna go 16 and go in the middle. So that one is in the middle. There we go. So both of them are at 16 now, and hopefully this thing doesn't feel as crazy driving. But now to the thing that I'm most excited about is to figure out what my toe is, because I've never done it on the convertible and I've never done it on this car. So in the almost 4 years of me owning an E30, I've never done an alignment on either of them. So that sucks. I'm going to try and do an alignment now with the way that Blake's Garage, OG E30 YouTuber, he took a string, tied it to 2 jack stands and just tied it through the center of the wheel all the way around the car through there. The one concern I have is my front wheels have a 5mm spacer, and I think the front is poking a little more than the rear. So I'm just gonna try it, see what happens. Hopefully I can still do it with this. So now the string is connected. Need to make sure that they're pick that up a little. So it's going through the middle right there. So this is kind of what I was worrying about. It's touching on the front and rear side of the tire. And over here, it still has a little gap. So you're supposed to move the string until it's just barely touching the front of the back tire right here. But it's touching up here before that. So what I'm gonna try now is, now that the string is set up there, I'm gonna measure to the center of the wheel right here, and I'm gonna try and get it even on both sides, probably like 4 inches on the tape measure on the front and rear, and try and square it up. And then also I'll measure, I'll throw one string down there, and then I'll throw a separate string down the other one with another jack stand over there, and then I can measure from that string to this string, that string to the other string, make sure it's all square, and then I can start figuring out the alignment. So now that the string is set, I'm using a tape measure coming in, and I'm measuring from the face of the wheel, kind of this inner lip right here. From the rear, it's 4 5/8. And then in the front, I want to try and move this around, but because there is a 5mm spacer behind this, 4 9/16 in the front, I'm gonna make it so that those two numbers read the same, and then I'm gonna do the same on those side, and then I'm gonna measure from here to there. If there's a difference, then that's because of the spacer, and you know, just going through it, making sure everything is, if it's square, then I can continue doing the alignment. I also made sure to have the steering wheel as straight as possible before, but now we have 4 inches and 5/8 from that little lip on the wheel on the front and rear on the driver's side, and now I'm gonna do the same on passenger side. Got to ride limousine with the chauffeur, felt good about 2 G's flat. Ah! Yo, turned into hot glue. So this side landed at 3 15/16 on the front and rear. I don't really have a good way of measuring it from here, 3 15/16, because here there's an axle nut, and in the front there's the there's that cover. So now I guess I can just, oh no, I made the string so short. Lengthened it a little bit so I can actually get the squareness. The front is measuring 68 1/4, and the back is measuring 67 1/4. I FaceTime my dad so I can ask him some questions. He's the engineer of the family, so he knows how to make things square and everything. So what I ended up doing was I moved these like 1/4 of an inch on each side until now they're 68 inches between both of them, and I ended up getting it to about 4.5 inches there. But the crazy thing is, now I just checked the measurements, all of them are at 3/4 of an inch, all of them. So apparently I've had perfect alignment. And I don't know, I guess I'm just tripping because, I don't know, maybe I want to do a little bit of toe in, but if it says it's perfect, I guess that's just how the car feels. I don't know. So whether I did something wrong or not, I'm going to leave it like that because they all measured the same, so it should be good. I don't really know. Next problem with this car is whenever I wash it, water gets in to the passenger floor right here, and some people are saying it could be the 4 drains on the sunroof, or it could be, I think this is the elephant trunk. Someone said just make sure this isn't clogged. I've never opened the sunroof on this car, and I'm terrified too because they don't like to close after you open them. So I'm gonna check all the drains, and hopefully I can go wash this car because it just got nice out. So everything's clean in here, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't have any grommets on anything. So the battery cable doesn't have a grommet, and then the main one, the AC lines, doesn't have a grommet. So I'm guessing water could just be coming in through here, going down through that seam and just filling up through there. So only one way to try it, by washing the car. So the reason why I want to fix this leak is because I want to put sound deadening under the whole bottom floor and then put the carpet over. And I don't want it to leak all over the carpet and everything. Oh, what the hell? This is so weird. It's so bright in here now. I can like feel it wanting to strip off of the teeth. Yeah, so just like how I thought, these holes aren't clogged at all on either side. So if those two are clean, the back two, actually, who knows? I think all the water is coming in through that hole there. So much better with the low on the rear like that. I may be wrong, but yo, that's a lot of smoke. It's not that cold for it to be smoking that much. That's the weather right now. It is not that cold to be smoking that much, bruh. What the fuck? My god, the rear sits so much lower. I can feel the car like actually sitting lower in the rear. Suspension feels 20 times better than what it did before, but it feels like my ass is on the floor. Like this guy gave a thumbs up. feel like I'm gonna scrape on the back now. But the car just takes bad terrain so much better now. Like, what? I could never go through something like that safely before. We're brutal before. I don't even feel it. What? I'm so happy. You can kind of hear it, but it's no, you guys won't know why I'm like freaking out, because it just feels like an entirely new car. And on video, I doubt you're gonna be able to tell this much of a difference. But like, I'd be flying off the road if I was going this speed through here. Suspension's actually working. We good, bro?
Yo, make some noise, make some noise.
You wanna make noise?
In this bitch.
You wanna? I can't right now, it's too wet outside.
Nah, yeah, I feel it.
And it's cold. Well, you want me to make noise?
Hold on, wait, let me do it for the snap, dog.
Yeah. If I make it shoot flames, yeah, but should I?
Do it. One.
Ready?
Oh my god. Oh, that flame at the end! That flame at the end!
Yo, that flame at the end! Yo, it was like a
Bro.
Hold on.
Yo.
Yeah, it shoots a little flame after.
Wait, hold on. It held it.
I didn't catch it spraying all over me, but look at that. What? The wheels are so easy to clean. Yo, look at that. They actually used warm water. They have warm water this time, so this water isn't freezing cold. I'm only doing one bucket because I still have to go back in when it gets nicer out and correct this paint to a full level, compound and polish, and then ceramic coat the whole car. I guess the wheels are so clean that I can just, I don't want to, honestly. I 10 out of 10 recommend that any ceramic coat for your wheels. This is the nicest process I've ever had. I've never took time to actually dry wheels because I never cared about them, but I care about these. I hope you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of soap down here. So I'm gonna pop the hood and hopefully something is wet near the AC port lines. Oh yes, that is what it is. So I don't have a gasket on this right here, so water is just sitting in here. I'm guessing it's just going in, filling in through either that hole or this hole, probably that bottom one. So a grommet right there, that'll fix that issue. So that's really good. Well, I need this one, but you know. Beautiful. I love it. I want to ceramic coat these Brock cover caps because I want to put them on the car. And that ceramic coat did its job. It did a really, really good job. Cleaning that was so much easier than if I didn't. So just use some IPA spray. Get them all clean. I think it's pretty cool that the little papers that I used to ceramic coat the wheels are like solid now. It's like the ceramic coat actually turns into like a very thick coat of whatever it is. Silica, I think. I don't know. Oh, it's kind of a lot. So it should be all set. In 24 hours, those will be fully cured and I can put them on the car tomorrow. I got these long ass extended lug bolts so that I can try and get rid of these studs and put on the Brock center caps. But because they are long, I got them a little bit longer. They're 45 millimeters and I needed 40 millimeters for the front with the 5mm spacers. So it's gonna be really long. Like it's gonna be protruding a lot out of the hub. So I don't know if it's gonna fit on the back, but let's try it. So I'm just gonna take one lug off. If I do it one at a time, I should be fine to not have to jack the car up. Oh, I guess that worked. I just need to put all four on and then see if the car rolls and make sure those bolts aren't getting stuck on anything in the back. But it looks good. There we go. I just turned the car on and remember I said I'm gonna try and roll the car forward with the long studs in the back, and then I never tried to do that. I tried pulling forward and I was like, oh, my e-brake is on, and I looked down and my e-brake is off. So it's gonna snow tomorrow and the day after, so I'm not driving this. Something back here crunched when I put it back in reverse. So it looks like these caps is looking slow. I just wanted to see it outside too, damn it. This is becoming a common thing, me standing here at the end of the videos, but thank you so much for watching and making it all the way to the end. I just want to explain real quick that now that those two videos are out, the dyno video and then the 12-minute recap video are out, I can start uploading more of like what I'm actually doing to the car and what it actually takes to keep one of these cars alive and on the road. Because I want to give you guys a perspective of how much work goes into a car like this, so that if you want to do it, you don't get caught off guard by anything, and you know, you see all the good, all the bad, and you see everything. So I also finished recording a video of me fixing the leak that was in the car. And if you've seen my other videos, you know it was a really bad leak. I ended up fixing it, and yeah, now I get to start the insanely dreaded chassis harness swap. I have to swap the whole chassis harness because the one that's in here is a later model convertible harness, and this is obviously not that. So I need to replace everything because my windows don't work. That's why this has the suction cup, but the heater doesn't work. Literally nothing works on this chassis, which is the most annoying thing ever. I just wanted to get it on the road until I found the coupe chassis harness, and now I can actually find one and do the whole swap because it's winter and it's freezing outside. And yeah, that's gonna be the videos that you guys are gonna be getting, just what I get done and throughout the week. So thank you for listening to me. Follow me on Instagram right here at E30 Joel, and leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for everything else that I'm doing with this car. And just a little update, the car doesn't have caps on it anymore, and it's gonna stay like this for a while.